Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Retro Reflux. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at one of my all-time favorite games, Zombies Ate My Neighbor. Let's go ahead and take a look. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a run-and-gun video game developed by LucasArts and was published by Konami for the Super NES and Sega Genesis consoles in 1993. The player chooses between two characters, Zeke and Julie, or both in a two-player mode. They navigate suburban neighborhoods, shopping malls, pyramids, haunted castles, and other areas, destroying a variety of horror movie monsters, including vampires, werewolves, huge demonic babies, spiders, squidman, evil dolls, aliens, UFOs, giant ants, blobs, giant worms, mummies, chainsaw-wielding maniacs, pod people, which are clones of the player, and of course, zombies. Another fun fact is the ZAM engine that was used would be later used for the sequel Ghoul Patrol, Metal Warriors, and Big Sky Trooper. The monsters in the game are based on classic horror films released in the 1950s and more modern films like Friday the 13th and of course Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So the objective of this game is to walk around collecting all the survivors. The survivors are worth points, and pretty much it plays almost like an arcade where the points really don't matter for anything, but by collecting all the survivors, it will prompt the game to open the exit door, which is how you exit the level. Collecting all the survivors gives you extra bonus points and pretty much just rolls on to the top of your overall score. As you're going through each level, there are supplies like fire extinguishers, squirt guns, which is pretty much your main attack. There's supplies like keys and potions and things like that that you can use to also power up your characters and progress through each level. Another neat fact is in 1997, LucasArts also created a game by the name Herc's Adventure, which came out on the Sony PlayStation and Sega Saturn, and that uses the same gameplay format as this game does. It has started to get expensive in value, so keep an eye out for it. I swear, this game still has one of the best soundtracks that I've ever heard of. Of course, next to Donkey Kong. And as you can see, it's really important to spend time looting each level for supplies, because even though there is a cheat code that can pick up where you died, or kind of like every, I think, 3 or 4 levels it gives you a cheat code, it will let you skip to those levels, but you pretty much only start with your squirt gun. So it's better to start from the beginning of this game and go through it that way and just collect as much supplies as you can. As you can see, right when you exit, it tallies up the points, and then of course if you saved all the victims, booyah. Now, with this being one of my favorite games, I guess I'm a little biased when I say I don't see a whole lot of people ever talking about it. So to me, I've always considered this a hidden gem. It's kind of ironic because the first time I ever played this was on a Sega Genesis, and growing up, I didn't have a Sega Genesis. There was one of my neighbor buddies who had one, and so when I first tried this, I was convinced that I needed to get a Sega Genesis. Later on that year, I did finally get one, and of course, this was the first game I got for it. But after a closer look, the Super Nintendo was the better version of the game. Apparently, the Sega Genesis port, it got ported halfway through development of this game. So there were a couple things that were not in the Sega Genesis version. But this game, by all means, in my opinion, is still one of the biggest hidden gems that are out there. Um, There was a Kickstarter that project called Demons Ate My Neighbors, which is going to be pretty much a almost like a throwback. I don't want to say a spiritual successor to this game, but it's definitely taking a lot of the same formula, and the guys behind it said it should be finished by fall of 2021. So I will definitely be picking that up as soon as it drops because, like I said, it's just one of those games I think that goes under the radar and it doesn't get enough attention that it deserves. There was a sequel to this one called Ghoul Patrol, and apparently that was it started out as a different game, and then once they saw the success of this one, they reworked it into Ghoul Patrol. I'll probably review that one at a later date. I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it, but it does play a little different, and I want to say from what I remember, you play almost as teenagers in that one, so I'm really anxious to try that one out. And as you can see with each level, the game really does switch it up. You started out in suburbia, now you're in the mall. You end up going to the Egyptian temples with the mummies. You go to a castle with werewolves. So the game really does switch it all up. And it does increase in difficulty, especially if you use up a lot of your good items. It really does make the game get harder and harder as you progress, because not only does each level add more enemies, the enemies become quicker, or at least it feels like it, and it's really hard to try and focus and of course make your way through each level, because they turn more and more into a maze, and it's harder and harder to find the survivors for each level. Another thing that's always blown me away about this game is the attention to detail in each level, and the graphics to me are just amazing. The Super Nintendo was probably one of my favorite consoles, next to the N64. The N64 more for nostalgic, just because that was one of the only times I ever met my uncle, but the Super Nintendo was always where the games were at. And speaking of increasing in difficulty, this was one of my favorite stages where you get chased around by Jasons wielding chainsaws through a big hedge maze, and they're very powerful. They take a lot of hits to go down, so you pretty much got to bob and weave and use your rocket launcher to blow through the maze to take shortcuts, because as you can see, their chainsaws one swing and they're right on your ass. So it's definitely one of the levels where it makes you makes you a little bit antsy. And that about does it for my game review. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out my first official game review. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you get an update on all my new videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I really do appreciate all the feedback and comments you guys leave me in the comment section. Go ahead and put down what you guys would like me to review next. I may have that game, and if I do, I will go ahead and work on the next project. Thanks for stopping by, and look forward to seeing you. Thanks.